Hello, Mustang fans, and welcome to another episode of the Mustang Owners Podcast. I'm your host, John Clore. I'm the Enthusiast Communications Manager for Ford Performance. Tonight, my co-host, Mike Ray, is on assignment, so we're going to have a fun time on our own talking about a very important subject that a lot of Mustang clubs, in fact, not just Mustang clubs, any kind of club will really want to hear about. But before we do that, we want to make sure that you guys know that all we need you to do is to click on the Mustang Owners Podcast on either YouTube or Spotify, and make sure you subscribe to the channel so that you don't miss every new and upcoming episode that we're going to have coming down the line. And don't forget, all we want to do is tell the world that everybody has a Mustang story. And that's why we work so hard to bring you all the inside stories of all the clubs, the cars, the characters, the collectors, and yes, the celebrities that are in this Mustang world. So tonight we have none other than the showroom manager of Gateway Classic Cars, the Detroit showroom here that is located in Dearborn, Michigan. We have our wonderful friend, Linda Bastow. Linda, thanks for joining me on the Mustang Owners Podcast.
Oh, this is awesome. I appreciate the time.
Well, no, we appreciate this. Yeah, we do. Now, a lot of people, when I launch the podcast, don't know that I say Mike Ray's the president of the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan, which is one of the largest and most active Mustangs club on the planet. But a lot of people don't know that I'm also the vice president of the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan. And that's why I get so connected with the club and the hobby. And Linda, tonight, we want to talk a little bit about how this big Mustang club in Detroit got hooked up with Gateway Classic Cars and what kind of relationship we have. And the fact that you're still talking to me.
I know.
It seems unbelievable. It can't be
Jenny
that bad.
keeps asking the same thing.
That's right. So why don't you, before we get started, why don't you tell us a little bit about Gateway Classic Cars for those people who are not, I mean, I'm sure they may have heard of you, but as one of the largest consignment companies, I think, in America,
it is.
It's a kind of a cool thing, and I don't know if everybody knows about it. Give us a little background on Gateway Classic Cars.
Yeah, well, Gateway, we've got 20 showrooms across the U.S., and we are the largest company that sells worldwide classic cars. So it's just not here in the U.S.
Right.
We sell all over the world, which is amazing. I mean, some of the places that I know I've sent them to, I just have no idea why, but they're all over the place. And yeah, so we bring the cars in and we sell them for everybody. So, which is kind of fun. We offer a lot of programs for everybody. I mean, as far as the consignments, we have a referral program, which I know I spoke with at this last meeting. There's a do not touch signs. If you refer somebody and we sell their car, you get $100. So, it's a win-win for everybody. So it's kind of fun there.
So if you have a class, you don't really have to have a classic car. You really can, if it's a collectible car, let's say you're kind of wary of eBay or what's that other one? Bring a Trailer, Facebook Marketplace. Yeah.
Yeah.
And you want a professional company to take your car and put it in a showroom setting. You guys do like the marketing for it. You take pictures and videos. I mean, you post it on the website, which is available from customers from Saudi Arabia to Japan.
Oh, yeah. Yeah. So, I mean, we take a minimum of like 120 pictures per car. Plus, we do a startup video, a drive video. We market on everything. We market on like eBay, classic.com, cars.com, Bring a Trailer, Hemmings. So we're hitting all the markets. So we're paying for all that, out of, selling your car. And you take all the tire kickers away. So we weed all that out. So you don't have to worry about, trying to like have people come to your house, look at it, underbid you and say, no, I'll take it for this. And then make you just feel guilty. We do all that for you. We handle all those kind of cars, so the calls and stuff. So,
well, just having someone take that headache of trying to sell your classic or collectible car and you don't know who you're dealing with, and to have it at a third party location, which is a professional setting and among a bunch of other cars. I'm sure, for a lot of people, I don't care what that price may be, as reasonable as it is, the consignment fees are not difficult. And
there is no consignment fee. They can bring it in for nothing, or we put our commission on top of what they want for their price.
Gotcha.
Well, we do comparables to other cars that are what they're being sold for.
Okay.
And then we let you know, well, this is where we like whatever they're being sold for, we want to be at that price. Right. And then their price will be their pocket, what goes in their pocket will be just a little less than what they'll be listed for normally. So, but they're still making money off of it.
Yeah, and
So,
the biggest thing I think, Linda, is the headache of dealing with all of that. The whole, you don't have to deal with it. You bring it to Gateway, you
yep.
guys handle it from start to finish. You get the best price possible, and you do all the work of putting it out there, which takes a lot of hours and time. And when someone wants to maybe change their car, buy something new, they could not only bring a consignment to you, but walk around the showroom and pick out something new.
Yeah, I mean, yeah, for sure, and that's why we have you guys and other, you guys in there, because who knows, you guys may know, somebody in your group may know somebody that's looking for a particular car, and we have it.
Yeah, well, so let's tell them that story. So everybody, the reason why we're talking about this tonight with Linda Bastow is the showroom manager of the Detroit showroom of Gateway Classic Cars, which is on the fringe of the Ford Motor Company campus in Dearborn. Beautiful building, great location. The reason why we have an affiliation is because of this. So the club had rented halls, VFW halls, and they had community centers, and they'd rent the hall for a couple $100. And some people they'd have catering. Some places had kitchens. So the club is going to be 50 years old this year. So they've gone from place to place, and as managers move in and out, people come and go to manage those places. And it's always been people would say, well, the parking's not good here, the lighting's not good. And as the group got older, Linda, I told you about this. One of the last places the club rented had they were not wheelchair accessible. We had a lot of older members who couldn't climb a big flight of stairs, and they said, we can't hold the meetings there anymore. So I was tasked as the VP to, hey, John, go find us a new place. And my wife, Jenny, and I were driving around. Linda, I don't know if you know this, but on our anniversary, I kicked the can down the road till my last day, and it happened to be on our wedding anniversary. So I told Jenny, hey, how about this, honey? Let's go for a ride. So we drove around for like 10 hours, going from hall to hall all over town, looking at places in person and checking them out online, doing searches. And you know that, so it's our wedding anniversary, and so we get to be around 6 o'clock. And she said, hey, don't you think it's our anniversary, you could take me out to eat? But as it turns out, the McDonald's drive-in had closed. And terrible, isn't it, Linda? Anyway, so long story short, we said, hey, wait a second. Remember Gateway? Jeremy, my son, worked up there, and he said, they got that new building, and why don't we go see if they would be interested in hosting our club meeting and to see if we could work out some deal. So we came up, folks, to go see Linda, and guess what? The way you have it laid out in there, Linda, the back area is like a little club entrance. You've got tables and chairs set up. We generally seat now for a club meeting between 80 and 130 people back there. We got room for the board. The walls are light, so we can do a presentation on the wall. You've got a door, Linda. Remember we had the detailer come in, and some of the engineers would come with a show car. It was just, and then not only that, folks, but imagine going to a club meeting and you're in this showroom with, how many cars are in the Dearborn showroom?
We got about 115 to about 120 cars probably in there right now.
So folks were sitting in the corner of this beautiful, well-lit, clean, wonderful place with 150 other classic and collectible cards. And oh, by the way, Linda, very smart that you kind of Dave Mustang Row right next to the Mustang Club meeting.
I know, you like that, huh?
Yeah, because you can't help but to go walk down and what does Gateway have in Mustang Row this month? So long story short, Linda saw the advantage of maybe having 100 people in that showroom every month without that may have never really stopped by, and people who are in the collector car hobby, buy, sell, and trade collector's cars by themselves, and also are always interested in other cars. So she got a hold of corporate, and it was Ken, I believe. We talked to Ken, and he said, Linda, it may be worth the investment. So they got the nice big round tables and chairs, all new furniture. We set up back there. You help us set up and take down. And we held our first meeting there, I think it was a year ago, December, and everybody loved it. I mean, they loved just coming in a big parking lot. We love coming in. We have our own entrance, our club showroom entrance. They love looking at cars before the show. We had a catering place come in and put food out. Our meetings were great. You could hear everybody, the lighting, everything was just so awesome. And so, Linda, we worked together on other things. We thought, well, instead of just having your monthly club meeting at Gateway Classic Cars, why don't we do some other things? So we've had several other events there. You recall Last year, I think we had National Mustang Day there
Hmm.
because your parking lot held so many cars,
We can hold 300 cars there.
which, you try to find 300 cars at your local VFW and they'll be down the street. And then when you get out of the meeting, your cars will be on cinder blocks. No, I'm
Yes.
just kidding. That's not true. Anyway, and then Linda, we also did like a Mustang homecoming there. We had live music. You let us
Yep.
set up a band outside, and we
Yep.
had live music. We had trike races from other clubs. I mean, clubs from all over the state came down, and
Yep.
we just sat down the other day and thought, Linda, you have, because of your work with this club, you've created like an atmosphere of, hey, Gateway is our go-to place, and it's also our go-to company when we want to buy or sell a Mustang. And the idea is, let's have you on the podcast to talk about the possibility of some of the markets in other cities. And aren't the Gateway showrooms in pretty much like most of the big major markets in the U.S.?
Yeah, they are. We got 3 down in Florida. There's 3 in Texas. We
Wow.
have Nashville. We have Louisville. A couple in Chicago.
Yeah,
We have
and
one.
I think you had one in Indy. I went to that one.
Nope, that one's closed right now.
Okay, so what about
Um,
how about the big one the home base is it still in
St.
St.
Louis.
Louis?
Yeah, it's technically it's actually in O'Fallon, Illinois,
O'Fallon.
but it's right next to St. Louis. It's on the
Now,
border.
someone
there.
told me that Gateway is that a gateway and a museum.
It is a museum because the state actually, because of the cars in there, they were deemed a museum. So
Okay.
yeah, so it's
Well,
so it's kind of interesting.
The last meeting we had at Gateway and the club members came in, it's like you're having a club meeting in a museum because only
Yeah.
a museum that turns over its show cars every once in a while, because
Yeah.
the 1 month they're there and the next month it's like a whole new place. So
Mhm.
unlike some museums where you go in and it's pretty static, they don't really
Yeah, it's the
change out
same
their
thing
display cars.
over.
Yeah, there's so much to see and do. So, Linda, we were really curious. What would you recommend for clubs? Let's say your particular club is in a city where there is a Gateway Classic Cars. How would you think the best way for a club to approach that, other than just maybe doing a cold call or coming in for a visit?
That would be pretty much about it. Go in there and see who, depending on who it is, talk to, the showroom manager, or if there's not a showroom manager, there's like a lead sales, talk to them and let them know what you guys want, and let them know that they can call me and I can help them out with it. So
you're
I'd
the
be happy
pioneer in this one.
to help them. Yeah, I'll be happy to talk to, or if you have a showroom that's close, or one of your car clubs that are close to there, let me know and I can reach out to them too and see if that's something that they're interested in. So I'll be happy to be the medium person there. Yeah.
Well, I can tell you this, folks, that having a place like Gateway Classic Cars to be able to meet and have events, you're not paying a big hall rental. You are having a relationship, and it is a business relationship. But as you said, Linda, you offered a discount to our club members for and there's several promotions. Plus, you have your own events.
Oh yeah. We have the Caffeine and Chrome, which is
Okay.
our coffee and donuts, the last Saturday of every month. And basically it's just, when spring hits right now, it goes from January to December. So it's all year round. So we have featured car clubs. So if you guys want to come in as your Mustang group, if you have over 20 cars, we donate $100 to your company.
That is cool.
If you bring in 20 cars or more, there's $200 going to you guys.
And that some clubs have to have fundraisers to do things like that. And the other thing I was going to ask you, like if someone was listening to the podcast today and said, "Hey, I'll have to go online and I'll check out Gateway Classic Cars, and oh look, there's one in my town," and maybe they look at the inventory, but then they see the car that they really want is at the Detroit showroom, not at the St. Louis showroom. How can you guys trade?
No, we can't trade because they're on consignment. So
Okay.
basically we can get a shipping quote right from our showroom to their driveway.
So you can still buy it through Gateway,
Oh yeah, for sure.
even though you're not in that town.
Nope. We can ship all over the world. So
So the
we
inventory people find at Gateway Classic Cars of all the different showrooms all across the U.S., that you can still get that car shipped to your showroom and your house.
your house, right? No, right to your house. I have had some people say, "Well, can you send it? I'll buy it and I'll pay for the shipping." Of course, they pay for the shipping,
Yeah,
but can you send it to this showroom because it's close to there and it's easy for me to go and pick it up?
we'll
Then
pick it
because
up. Yeah,
I don't have, I won't be home at that time when they're going to be wanting to drop it off. Can you drop it off there? We could do that. So
yeah,
yeah,
that's what. Well,
yeah,
I got to tell you,
so
folks,
many options.
for our club, for the Mustang Owners Club of Southeastern Michigan, to be able to, after jumping from place to place and hall to hall, and the fact that you give us that space, you don't charge us for that space, you just want us to come in, enjoy the time, and spend some time with the cars, and be a business partner. It's turned out to be a fabulous relationship, and I really think that if you're a club who's a little bit too big to rent the back room at Denny's, or
Yeah.
and nothing against you clubs that do have the back room at a restaurant, but I've been to those meetings. You can't, you're talking above the crowd, in between the other doors, or people are. Sometimes it's a difficult setting to have a really fun meeting, or maybe to have a guest speaker. And at least in the Detroit showroom there in Dearborn, Linda, your facility really lends itself for that, and I think everyone just loves the relationship. After a full year there, we couldn't be happier.
It's just we like to keep people when they come in as a family. So I mean that's just the way my guys and I are. We're just like I tell our people because only four of us there, but I consider ourselves like an island of misfits because we're all different. All four of us are. So and it's just we get along. It's just like you and I and Jen. I mean I met you guys. I've been with Gateway for 4 years, and I started, and after about a year and a half, I met you, John, at one of the Mustang rallies right after COVID, and we were across the street from where we're at right now, and it wasn't big enough. And then when we moved, and you guys came in, I said, "Hello, here we are."
Yeah,
So
what
I've
a
known you
beautiful
and Jen
setup.
for a while. So
It's
yeah,
been great, and we just think it's a good idea. And some clubs that maybe if you only have 10 or 12 guys, and you go sit at an Italian restaurant and have your spaghetti and you chat, that's one thing. But for clubs that are a little bit larger, they're looking for the right. You may find that your local Gateway Classic Cars would be the perfect setting, and we have found that it's just there's something about enthusiasts. And even you don't have to be a Mustang enthusiast, but just enthusiasts in general, sitting in that showroom, having a meeting, just being among all those cool cars. I have just to thank you on behalf of the club and all those enthusiasts out there looking for a cool place to hang out. Linda Bastow, I got to tell you, Gateway is a cool place.
So how many, like in your other clubs, what's the average like number of members in some of the other clubs and where are they located?
Well, some of the clubs, at least the Mustang clubs in Michigan, some of the larger clubs have between maybe 100 to 190, 250 members. Some are like 80 to 150. So they still have, no, not every club member comes to their club meetings. And shame on you if you're one of those armchair club members, because folks, you got to get off the couch.
Yes.
But when you come to a club meeting, it's a different vibe, Linda, as you know, as you can tell. We pretty much have regulars out of a club that's 750 strong. To get 100 members, that's a percentage of the overall club membership, but not all. And we understand some people live a long way; it's a long commute. We do live stream from Gateway Classic Cars, so a lot of them don't have to drive. But there's just something about being together, especially after COVID. You're sitting together with your friends. You're able to talk and meet someone. If you're at the same table and you're having a hot dog from the food truck or whatever it's a different vibe than zooming in online or, just joining by, watching what's on the website. So we really think that, being in person, and then Linda, at least for the Detroit showroom of Gateway, just being in that whole car vibe, that whole, you're hanging out with a bunch of cars on a summer night. And it's
it gets you in the mood to go to a car show, and go to other events.
Okay, so look at it this way. So a lot of guys or gals that are in their car club may pay $20, and they're going to go to their local car show. And in that car show, they may see 100 cars. You've got 100 cars in the showroom.
Yeah.
You've got a live car show indoors, rain or sunshine, that you can go in, air condition, heat it. bathrooms.
Yeah.
You got your own car show.
Yeah. And especially the caffeine and chrome, people come like when the spring hits, they're going to bring the cars out. And for the last Saturday of every month, they all come with their cars and the parking lot's full of more cars.
Yeah. So you got a cruising going on there.
Yeah. Yeah.
Well, I got to tell you got this nailed down. I really appreciate you taking the time to tell us about this because I know we're having fun at Gateway. So those of you out there, if you got one, go online to gatewayclassiccars.com, check out all the different showrooms. And if you have an opportunity to say, hey, let's go have a little more fun vibe with our club meetings, or just even, Linda, maybe just walking into the Gateway showroom and say, hey, let's have a little cruise in there, you might find a really willing partner in Gateway Classic Cars.
Yep, for sure.
Okay.
Yes.
Well, I got to thank you, Linda. I appreciate you taking the time out tonight. And I know that we love having this conversation because every month we come down there, we enjoy ourselves. And yes, the only problem is, folks, I'll be perfectly honest with you. The one thing I haven't mentioned so far is when I do go in there every month, at least 2, maybe 3 out of those 15 or 20 Mustangs she has, I want to buy them.
I know. I'm working on Jenny still. I'm still working on her.
You can't. They're like shoes to Imelda Marcos. You can't have them all. Linda Bastow, showroom manager of Gateway Classic Cars Detroit. Thanks for joining us tonight.
Thank you. Anytime.
Well, you got it. Well, that's a wrap for this edition of the Mustang Owners Podcast. But don't forget to check out all the cool content that I post each week on FordPerformance.com. And if you haven't already done so, you can register your Mustang Club or Facebook group on FordPerformanceClubConnect.com. And if you want to register your Mustang, you can also register that with Ford Motor Company at SpecialVehicleRegistry.com. If you want to check out what Moxham is up to, our big Mustang club here in Detroit, it's just Moxham.com. So on behalf of my co-host Mike Ray and all of us here at the Mustang Owners Podcast, we want to thank you for joining us. We'll just have to catch you next time down the road.